Welcome to the most exciting youth-oriented show, From the Core. I'm Caroline.
Hello, I'm Alexis.
On this special edition of From the Core, we will be discussing several very important aspects of homecoming.
Stick around and we will teach you all about preparation, etiquette, and the proper behavior to use before, during, and after the homecoming dance.
So grab a few friends and maybe some popcorn and get ready for another edition of
From the Core.
Today we are going to talk about some very important issues that affect teenagers not only in Tampa Bay, but all around the country.
The homecoming dance is a staple in high school, and many students spend hours preparing for the big day. Teenage girls would agree that shopping for a homecoming dress is a vital part of this tradition. But why is it so important? And how do you know which dress is the right one? How do you know what is appropriate for a high school dance?
FTC reporter Elizabeth Renda set out to answer these questions. She went to Georgette's dress shop and found out the essentials for picking out the perfect homecoming dress. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Renda reporting at Georgette's Fashions in South Tampa on how to find the perfect dress and accessories for that special occasion.
Georgette's is a formal dress shop that has been in business for over 30 years. They have anything a girl might need for homecoming. From jewelry to dresses to shoes, Georgette's has it all.
My advice is to shop early here at Georgette's.
I spoke to Georgette's co-owner Tasha Diaz about how to make preparing for homecoming as simple and stress-free as possible.
So best advice, get out there, make your decisions early, and get your perfect dress for homecoming locked in and registered.
And of course, it's always important to be fashionable.
Well, for homecoming, what's trending right now is definitely glitz and glitter. So even if you have a very, very simple dress, you want to bang it up a little bit with a little bit of bling. Feathers and flowers in the hair this year are really, really trending out the door.
Bigger than a size 6? Don't be discouraged.
You're going to play up your positive attributes. So if you have a really good bust line, you're going to play off that, maybe something a little bit of a V-neck. If you have a really tiny waist and are maybe a little bit bigger on the bottom, you're going to want to do a fit and flare where it brings it in the waist and then kind of camouflages the bottom. But honestly, there really is a style for everyone, no matter what size or shape you are.
Tasha's most valuable advice was to have fun with the dress you choose.
Well, for homecoming girls, definitely. Now's the time to wear those cute little dresses that maybe 10, 15 years down the road you're not going to. So dress age appropriate. Don't try to go too mature. Go for the color. Black is always fun. It feels a lot of grown up, but you'll have plenty of time to wear a black dress down the way. And I like to see, girls go in fun colors and fun flirty styles that are age appropriate, not too mature.
After learning from an expert, it was time for me to give choosing a dress a try. The first dress I tried on was definitely a don't. The black color was too boring for an event like homecoming, and its fit didn't flatter me. This dress was nice, but something about it just wasn't right, and I knew a better dress was out there somewhere. Finally, the perfect dress. This dress fit me well, it was youthful enough for a high school dance, and it had all the glitz and glamour a girl needs to make a statement.
And there you have it. I'm all ready for my big night, and you can be too if you remember these simple steps.
So remember, find a dress that fits your body well and plays up your positive attributes. Don't be afraid of color. The more fun a dress is, the more fun you'll have wearing it. And don't forget to dress things up with a little bit of sparkle and shine. This is Elizabeth Renda reporting for From the Core.
Joining me in the studio to elaborate on preparation for homecoming is Sam Mount, another reporter for From the Core. While Elizabeth was busy finding out the girls' perspective on preparing for the dance, Sam was researching about the guys' perspective. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of homecoming?
Well, originally homecoming was thrown by colleges and universities to welcome back alumni to the college. This usually included events like spirit dress days where people would wear the school colors, and a homecoming dance, and also a homecoming football game. Now, this tradition was adopted by high schools, and it's now become the event that we know as homecoming.
So what are some of the biggest mistakes that guys can make when preparing for the dance?
Well, I've compiled a list of 10 mistakes, and I'll go from 10 and go up. The 10th most common mistake that I found was that some guys don't buy corsages for their dates. And, I mean, it's customary to buy a corsage, and they're not that expensive, so really there's no excuse. For the 9th most common faux pas is overdressing. You don't want to overdress because you could be uncomfortable, and you could just look awkward standing there in a tux while everyone else is in a suit coat. My 8th most common faux pas is underdressing. You don't want to go to homecoming dressed in a polo, a jacket, and jeans, and sneakers, because that's just not appropriate. It's much more formal than that.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on exactly what guys should be wearing to the dance?
Well, school codes differ, but the main dress code is a sports jacket, a tie, a dress shirt, dress pants or khakis, a belt, and dress shoes.
Okay. So what are some more mistakes that guys can make?
Well, my 7th most common mistake was some guys go to homecoming not fully clean. And, well, you may go with a date, but you might not have one at the end of the day. For my 6th most common faux pas, this kind of goes hand in hand with the 7th, you don't want to smell bad, because no one wants to be around someone who smells bad.
It's true.
My 5th most common faux pas was to not be late. Some schools will actually lock the doors after a certain period and no one can get in. And so you don't want to get all dressed up and buy tickets and not be able to get into the dance.
True.
Which kind of goes hand in hand with my 4th faux pas, and that is to not forget to bring or buy the tickets.
Right.
Because getting all dressed up, going to dinner, and then not being able to get into the dance is not good.
And tickets can sometimes be more expensive at the door.
For my 3rd faux pas, you want to make sure that you have a ride. Not having a ride to the dance or from the dance can leave you abandoned at a dance hall with no way home. And so it's usually safer or it's a good idea to secure a ride with a parent or a responsible student driver.
Okay.
For the 2nd most common faux pas, you want to be sure that you introduce yourself to your date's parents. Your date's parents want to know who their daughter is going to homecoming with, and if you don't introduce yourself, then the parents won't know, and that's not good, especially if something bad happens. And then for my 1st most common faux pas, that is getting involved with drugs and alcohol, which is really just not a good idea because not only is it illegal, but you look trashy.
Well, thank you so much. Now, audience, what are some difficulties that you've run into while preparing for the dance?
Caroline, I have an audience member who would like to answer that question.
Hello, I'm Laura Lee. One of my biggest problems with homecoming is that I always put things off, definitely, to the last minute. And, well, with my dress especially, because I'm very picky. And, well, last year I waited to the last morning, and then I had to settle on a dress that I just didn't like at all. So.
Thank you, Laura Lee. Audience, again, what are some ways that you can overcome these difficulties when preparing for the dance?
Hi, I'm Nick, and I know some ways I've had the same problem as her. I remember last year I forgot to get my suit ready. What I did is I started coming up with a schedule. Like, you got the same way with some work. You don't want to procrastinate. You want to get it done as soon as possible.
Thank you for your input, Sam, and the audience. We have to take a short break, but when we come back, we'll hear from an expert on etiquette who will elaborate on Sam's presentation and will tell us about the art of dining in a group setting. Stick around for more from the core.
I present to you Algebra 2. Who will step up to his challenge?
Me.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
Hello again. We will now hear from a well-known etiquette coach, Joyce Marsh. Mrs. Marsh is here in the studio to elaborate more on preparing for the big day based on her many years of experience. So, Miss Marsh, you've had a chance to watch Sam and Elizabeth, and you've heard what both of them have to say. Do you have anything that you would like to add in regards to homecoming preparation?
I think one of the biggest things is communication. If you know in advance who you're going to invite, you need to talk to them about what you're going to wear, because if you're going to buy a corsage, you want to get the right color. Sometimes young ladies will wear strapless dresses, and a pin-on corsage is not the most appropriate corsage. You may want to do a wrist corsage. Also, it's important as the young man to make a strong first impression with the family. So you want to go and introduce yourself to the young lady's parents to let them know who you are, because they are entrusting their daughter to you for the evening.
Now moving on to the next part of our show, Mrs. Marsh will help us with a difficult situation, dining with large groups of people. I had the opportunity to attend an event with my fellow Mayor's Youth Corps members and witness some common errors that can occur. Take a look at some of the common faux pas teens can make in a group setting.
Follow me.
Thank you. So what did you guys think about math test?
Oh my God, that thing was so hard.
That thing was just too hard. I gave up about halfway through. I was beat down. So what do you think about that math test?
Huh?
You know the math test we've been talking about?
Hold on a minute.
So Ms. Marsh, after watching this video and given your background in social etiquette, do you feel as though our manners were acceptable?
Well, I think there's always room for improvement. Let's just start from the very beginning. Normally, the gentleman will escort the lady on his right arm. Ladies always first will enter into a room, or opening doors for women first. When you are being escorted to the table, the gentleman should always seat the lady first. A little tip is normally you want to enter the table from the right side. Then the gentleman will help you by pushing you a little bit closer to the table. One big problem that I saw there was texting at the table. The most important person is the person sitting there with you. One of the biggest faux pas today in dining is people texting at the table. When you are dining, if that person is so important, maybe you should not be there eating. So as a general rule, when you go out for dinner, make sure you turn your cell phone and texting off.
Okay. So now moving on to our second situation.
I'm so excited for this dance. Oh, me too. I have been practicing all my moves all month. Really?
Yeah, I got like great, yeah.
He has like some signature moves now.
That is so awesome.
I'm gonna be crazy. You don't know.
I wish he had been practicing.
Well, I've been practicing a lot, actually. You're going to see my moves everywhere, you know. I'm going to be the best in the dance thing. You see? Like, best.
Oh, okay.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Yes.
Great. So, Miss Marsh, what about this situation? What advice can you give us?
Well, I will always tell people, even though you're going out to dinner, eat a snack before you go. This gentleman was looking like this was his last meal. And as a result, it's very embarrassing to his guests. Normally, when you sit down, you want to put your napkin in your lap. I noticed that no napkins were placed in the laps. And that food should be passed. You should always never serve yourself first. You want to serve the lady first, passing from the left to the right, and then take yours. Another thing I observed was that he was talking with his mouth full, and oftentimes you can spray people. You want to take small bites. And normally, with general good hygiene, you want to use silverware to take from the platter. Use a fork to take some of the cheese and some of the bread. As a general rule, this was just as if it was his last meal, and it was embarrassing for everyone sitting there.
Thank you, Miss March. That's good advice. Let's take a look at our third situation.
Will you be paying separately or together this evening?
We're going to be paying together.
No, definitely separate.
Okay, and you two?
Hold on. She's gonna be paying.
All right then, I'll go get those.
Separate.
Better luck next time, right?
Checks are always a tricky part, even if you're on a date or in a large group. How do you handle a check?
Well, normally there are several ways to handle it. If you are going in a large group and you have a host, that person you may, because you can go online now and look at menus, you can kind of pre-select what you want, have an idea as to how much it's going to cost, and then you would give your money to that person. That's option one. Option two is if you are at the restaurant, at the time that you order the meal, you would request you would like to have separate checks so that when you're leaving and it is time for the check, you then will have just your check. And it's very, very easy to work with your wait staff so that they will have time to get that for you. So as a general rule, when you sit down and you place your order, you then will advise them that you would like a separate check or individual checks. And by the way, if there are 6 or more in the group, you normally will have a 15% group gratuity. And don't forget to tip. If the service is good, 15. If it's exceptional, 20%.
That's definitely true. Tipping is always very important.
Yes, that's to ensure promptness.
Thank you so much. Now, when we come back, we'll learn about the proper place settings with Miss Marsh.
The first step to getting into college is finding someone who can help. For the next steps, go to KnowHowToGo.org.
We're back with Miss Marsh, and now we have a few props here to help us understand more about etiquette and dining. Hello again, Miss March.
Hello.
What do we have here?
Well, this is a place setting, and what I would like to do is just take a few minutes to kind of give you an idea when you go out on this special date of homecoming so that you don't have stress how to use the silverware and the place setting. So the very first thing you want to do is when you are escorted in with your date, you want to enter to sit at the table from the right side. So you would like to...
Okay, so I did it from the wrong side.
That's okay, and you're going to come around.
Okay.
And then you're going to take your seat. You're going to enter. And normally the gentleman would be behind you. And what he would do is assist you if you would get in. And then he's going to push you up a little bit.
Okay.
And you're going to use your hand as a guide. And you use the hand, the width of the hand is where your body should start so that you have this little space.
Okay.
Now, he would then ask, are you comfortable? And you would say,
yes, I'm very comfortable.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Now, your date would sit to your right. Remember, he escorted you on your right. When you're sitting at the table, he is here. So his right hand is near your left. So the conversation is this way versus across the table. Now, you're ready to put the napkin in your lap.
Okay.
You're going to not take it and make it up fly. You're going to open it gently, and you're going to keep it fold halfway in your lap. Now, the napkin is used for 3 things: to catch crumbs, to wipe your hands, and to pat your mouth, not wipe.
Okay.
When you are eating, you are basically eating from the outside in. So then if this was a 3-course meal, we've set this for a 4-course, which is soup, salad, entree, and dessert. You basically eat from the outside in. I always say, if you remember, BD, bread is on the left, drink is on the right.
Okay.
So you make a B, make a D. So that's bread.
Here's my B and my D.
Right. So you're going to always remember that your bread is going to be on your left and your drink is going to be on your right.
Okay.
This is set with a bread and butter plate. So when you eat bread, number one, you're going to take the roll, place it on your bread and butter plate. This is a butter spreader. You will take bite sizes, break it. You're going to break it, butter it, and then take it to your mouth. Okay? Always keeping breaking and buttering on the plate so you don't have crumbs. So now we're ready to go to eating your salad. Remember, we're going to start with your soup. Again, it's a liquid. Look what side it's in line with the drink. You're going to pick it up. By the way, you hold the spoon like a pencil, not like your toothbrush, but your pencil. Okay? And when you finish that, and when you eat soup, you always want to sail away from yourself. So you spoon away and up. No slurping or blowing on it or putting ice in it. Okay? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to eat. All right? Now you finish that course, then you would take that away. We would go to salad. You now have a salad fork and a salad knife. Let's let you put that in your hand. Okay? Oh, wonderful. Hold it like a pencil. But now I want you to cut your salad because normally salads are bite size, are larger than bite size. You want to be able to talk when you're eating, so you want to always cut into bite sizes. So here again, you're going to switch. And you're going to cut it. And when you cut, you want to have the tines down. Okay? You're going to put it in your hand this way and turn it over. And you want to always try to keep your arms close to your body. You don't want to try to fly away. So that gives you strength. So when you cut, and you cut one direction, you do not saw back and forth. Once you have cut, you would place the knife across the plate on the rim. And if you're eating the American style, you then would switch hands. Don't want to get salad dressing on you. And then you would eat. If you were eating the European style, the fork would remain in your left hand. Tines down. Always start with it in the palm of your hand, like this. And then turn it over. It will always be right. Then if you were eating the European style, you then would use the knife as a pusher. And you would push the salad onto the fork, and you would take it right up here to your mouth that way. You finish the salad. Now we take these away. You're ready for your entree. Remember, we're eating again from the ends, from the outside in. You have now finished your entree. We'll take all of these away. And you're now ready for dessert. We're going to take everything away. And if you notice, your dessert silverware is at the top. It is your responsibility to take the fork, move it down, take your spoon, because you may have a hot beverage, coffee, you may have ice cream. So then you've finished the meal. After you have had your dessert, you then, and you're ready to leave, you then would put your napkin back on the table to the left. Your date would then ask, he would come, he would move from his side to you, pull the chair out for you, and you're going to get up and step out, always to the right. You entered on the right, you leave on the right. He would push the chair under, because remember, you're in a restaurant and the wait staff basically needs to be able to pass by, and then you would leave. It's very easy. Just remember, BD, you're eating from the outside in.
Thank you so much, Miss Marsh.
My pleasure.
Stay tuned for more From the Core.
So, April, your charger's still using energy.
That's not my charger. I don't even have a cell phone.
Millions of kids are using their energy wisely. What's your excuse?
Welcome back. So far we have talked about the preparation and etiquette before the homecoming dance. But what's the appropriate behavior during and after the dance? We all know that things can get out of hand when teenagers don't think before they act. Joining me are two teenagers, Jeff Martin and Bruna Buhid, who have been to many school dances. Thank you two for being here. Can you tell us about your overall experience at school dances?
Well, I'm a senior now, and I've been all 4 years, and it's been a blast. It's the thing we look forward to every year.
What about you?
I'm a sophomore this year, so I did the dances last year, but I left early at homecoming and prom, so it was really a lot of fun. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Have any activities hindered your fun at these dances?
As far as fights or anything like that, that's never happened at my school, but the teachers do block the entrance, so if there's any inappropriateness going on outside, they won't let those certain students come in, so never inside the dance.
And what about you, Jeff?
I've never seen anything, probably the same as Bruna, but I've never seen anything go wrong.
Okay. What would you consider to be appropriate behavior at a school dance?
I think it's okay to come with a bunch of your friends in a bus, and you dance beforehand, and then you dance at prom or homecoming, and then you dance afterwards. That's just something that makes the experience even better.
I think you should remember that whatever you're doing, you're at a school function. Got to remember that, and you wouldn't do this if you're at a pep rally. So don't do anything you wouldn't do with in class. Really, just have fun.
So what would be some inappropriate behavior, maybe dancing, or what do you feel about that?
As far as coming in with anything, substances, you should definitely keep that out. And then the dancing, just be very cautious because there are teachers there and they do watch what you do. And as far as if you're in a team sport or an HS office or anything like that, things you do at dance can have repercussions after the homecoming.
Have you or anyone you know been involved in a situation after the dance that made them uncomfortable or unsafe?
I haven't, but I had a friend who she went on a party bus with seniors. We were juniors at the time, and they stopped to do some inappropriate things before the homecoming dance, and she talked to me and she said, I never want to do that again or be in that situation, because you got to think about the other people that are with you, and it's your prerogative to do your things, but you also got to think about the consequences of your actions on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had anything happen to me or my close friends, but I have heard of other situations where drugs or drinking was involved.
Thank you. Now to the audience. Do you think that teens understand the legal and dangerous consequences of their actions? And if so, why do you think that they ignore this risk?
Caroline, I have an audience member who would like to answer that question.
When we do go to, say, an after party or a function before that, we need to carry ourselves to the best of our abilities. I know that I've been invited to a party for this homecoming, and there will be alcohol, and I've chosen not to go. I personally chose that because I wanted to hold myself to a higher standard, and I just sort of feel like that if my parents were to see my actions and disapprove of it, or whether it be my teachers or fellow peers, then I don't think I should be doing it. So that's one of the things that I feel strongly for.
Thank you, Ting. Have you or anyone you've known been in a position where you felt uncomfortable through drunk driving or anything of the sort?
Caroline, I have another audience member who would like to answer that question.
Hi, I'm Andrea, and I've personally never been in a situation, but I've had a lot of friends that have been, and they just come out of it in a negative way, and they tell me that they never want to do it again. So it's just a bad thing to do.
Thank you, Jeff and Bruna, and audience. You have great questions and points. Alexis and I have more to share on the other side of this break.
If you like what you saw on today's show and want to learn more about the Mayor's Youth Corps, please contact Rebecca Heimstead at nyc@tampagov.net.
Or give her a ring at 813-274-5909. And remember to have a great homecoming.
I don't know about you, but I learned a lot about proper behavior for homecoming during today's show.
Me too. What about you, audience?
Yeah!
Awesome. I'm really excited to go shopping for a dress now. Hey, do you want to go with me?
Definitely. But we have to wrap up here first. If you at home would like to ask any questions or contribute your ideas, please email us at nyc@tampagov.net.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, always do your part.
Tune in next month for another magnificent edition of From the Core.